What a great time to be buying a business. Thousands and thousands of older business owners are approaching their retirement years, and in many cases, they don't know who will buy their business. Some are just walking away and closing their doors. So, talk about a huge opportunity that's out there right now. Whatever your profession, if you're young and ambitious, you can reap the awards of buying businesses that will grow your revenue and equity. If you do want to buy a business or many businesses, here's a few steps that you'll need to do to get ready when the right opportunity comes up. Let's start with you and your own business. If I was a seller of a business, what kind of impression would you make on me? In other words, do you and your business appear to be professional? Does it look like you know how to run a business? And are your existing clients happy with your services? Why is this important? Well, many selling business owners do care about who will be servicing their clients and who will be managing their staff. So if you don't fit the bill from the first impression point of view, well, goodbye and see you later. Let's talk about financing arrangements for a moment. You'll need to figure out how you plan to finance the business purchase before you venture out and start talking to prospective sellers. The good news is that you should never, and I mean never, provide the seller with the full 100% payment on the closing date. And I'll talk about that in more detail in a moment. So, do you have surplus cash in your business? Or will you have to seek out third-party financing to buy the business? This is where, unfortunately, many of the large banks won't get involved with this type of business financing. So you'll want to reach out to a specialty financing firm such as the Business Development Bank, BDC in Canada, and I'm sure other countries have similar institutions that can help you out. You may be asked to provide a corporate guarantee or even a personal guarantee to get the financing that you need. If you're asked to provide a guarantee, you'll want to negotiate various terms and timing of how and when those guarantees will be reduced or removed altogether. If you would like more information on how to negotiate guarantees, please drop me a comment and I'll provide a future episode on that topic. Back to my earlier comments about never paying a business seller 100% of the purchase price upfront. Every deal should have a down payment and a portion of the sales price that you will pay off over several years on, say, a quarterly basis. Why is this important? Well, if the deal goes sideways, or you begin losing clients, or the seller has overstated his or her annual revenue, you'll want some recourse, and you won't have any recourse if you've paid for the business in full, so don't do it. What is a typical, say, cash and terms breakdown? This is a great question, and it can vary, obviously, from deal to deal. But let's use a simple example. I would say that a 50 to 60% of the purchase price could be paid on closing and the remaining 40 to 50% to be paid without interest over 3 to 5 years and, say, on a quarterly basis. Depending on the industry that you work in, some suppliers may have a key and strategic relationship with a selling business that may be motivated to keep that business and could be approached to provide financing for your deal. This could be a very interesting option only if the terms of the loan that they are offering are fair to you. And say another organization such as financial planning, insurance, accounting, and legal, where the individual owns their book of business, the head office of the organization may offer financing options to keep the business in-house, so be sure to ask about it. So what if you have limited cash reserves for a down payment? Well, don't despair because a little creativity and deal making can go a long way for you. What I mean is that you can negotiate less cash up front and more ongoing payments. You can add interest to your payments or perhaps even pay a little bit more for the total purchase price of the business. Regardless of the financing options that you take, make sure that you put together a pro forma financials to determine if the deal still makes sense from a financial perspective. If it doesn't, ask for changes before you sign on the dotted line. Remember that no deal is much better than a bad deal, so don't get desperate and don't fall in love with a bad deal. I hope this has been helpful, and if so, please give me a like. If you'd like to receive future information, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. In the meantime, thank you for watching and think long term.